Bodies move in many different ways. We're going to take turns or pair up today, and we will be modeling for one another in different poses showing movement and motion. Today we're going to be focusing on creating some poses in motion. So if you notice on my finished product here, I've got overlapping happening. I've got one person on top of another person on top of another person. I've filled up my space. I've drawn very large, and I've even added different textures by using the techniques that we've learned in our last lesson about using hatching, stippling, and other types of coloring to add texture and pattern. And I created a background. So I'm going to show you how to get here, and we're going to work together. Let's get started. So friends, what you're going to need today is a piece of paper. I'm working on a 12 by 18 sheet of paper. It doesn't really matter what size you're working on as long as you're filling up the space and you're drawing big. When you are drawing your people, you can either pair up or you can have a family member pose for you or a friend pose for you. You could, if there's no one available to pose with you, you can use a photograph like I am here to work off of, but you want to make sure they're doing something dynamic, showing motion, and you are going to focus on the contour lines. Remember, the contour lines are the lines on the outside of the shape and the lines inside of the shape. We are not going to worry about color and texture or pattern yet. We're just going to focus on the contour. So I'm going to pick a photo to work with. And I think I'm going to start with this one. And I'm going to focus on the shapes. Here we go. I don't see a lot of detail in her hand, so I'm not going to draw that. Arm comes down like that. So what I'm looking at is, remember how in the previous video, in the stop motion video, we looked at how artists use line, think about the lines that are in the directions that body parts are going in. So this line on her leg is kicked out, and then it slightly goes down, and her foot is pointed, her toes are pointed up. This leg goes down, her leg is bent, and then her foot is flat. This arm makes like an L shape kind of. So let's keep working. Focusing on the shapes. Things don't have to be perfect. This is not a perfect drawing. I don't want it to be a perfect drawing. I want you just to do your best and forget the rest. We want to make sure too we're adding the details, the lines inside of the shoes or anything that we see. If we see the line, we add the line. If you don't see it, we don't add it. It's that simple. Draw what you see, not what you think you should see. We're also going to add the lines for the folds inside of her shirt. That's part of contouring. There. Now let's move on to another, let's do this one of Coach. So I'm looking at her body. We have a line going straight up on her leg. Her torso curves a little bit. Her head is straight. Her arm is coming out towards us, and this leg is kicking back at almost a 45-degree angle. I'm going to overlap them. So I'm going to put her behind Coach. One needs to go in front of the other. I see her mask, so I'm going to add her mask. Her arm comes down like this. You see her other arm, and then her wrist. This line around her backside starts right about here, comes down, other leg comes up. This leg comes down. Don't worry if the drawing goes off the paper, it actually makes your drawing look better, and makes it more dynamic and interesting. And then let's see the bottom of her shoe. Good. You can add the details inside of her mask here. Now, some of our friends, not everybody is able to get up and move. Some people have devices to help us get around. Miss Solis here, she's been on a scooter this week at school, so I want to make sure everyone feels included. So even if you don't have a lot of mobility, you can still take the time and draw, because people get around in lots of different ways. So I'm looking at her hand. She's got this right here, the sleeve. I'm looking there's a line that goes from the top of her head down to her foot. That's basically, her hair comes down like this, her shoulder, the sleeve on her blouse is very billowy, the back of her dress. Good deal. Let's add one more drawing. I like this one a Coach, so I'm going to add Coach right here. Her mask comes up. Remember, if I don't see her face, I do not add that part of the face. Draw what you see, not what you think you see. Her ears right about here. Her shoulders. And there is my finished contour drawing of my friends in action. Now I'm going to stop the tape and fast forward so you can watch me add color. All right, friends, here's my finished work. I've added lots of different textures and designs using markers and colors and crayons. I even added a background to my drawing, so it had a little environment for my people to hang out in. I hope you have as much fun doing this as I do. And I can't wait to see what you do. Thanks, friends. Work hard.